Welcome to Framework Fortune, and welcome back, Framework Fortune community, for another episode of The Last Rip, the daily show where we take a look at market close at the top Nasdaq and NYSC gainers on the day. So first we got to start out with the S&P 500 to see where the market is heading. And it has been in this triangle, and as I said yesterday, today was probably going to be the day that we saw it pop one way or the other, and it did start to pop above the triangle right here at market open, but sold off pretty hard there towards about 10-11 around lunchtime, and has rebounded some, but we are just barely in this tip. Tomorrow's Friday. There are a lot of concerns right now with inflation, which seems like the rest of the traders and investors around are starting to pay attention to those numbers, or at least the big money in the institutions and hedge funds. So we could see a sell-off very easily tomorrow. This new high that we hit today could be a bull trap, and what that means is bulls get suckered into this thinking that it's going to break out of this and the market's going to move up. But this was just a quick little bit of buying, and the rest of the selling could come tomorrow. This is not a great candle. The body of this candle is very thin, so I wouldn't call this a sell-off or anything today or a rip. It's pretty much just went sideways. As you can see right there where it bounced up and then pretty much gave back all of that, and then it's bounced halfway up. So that's just a sideways movement, really, looking at it on the intraday chart. But into the top Nasdaq gainers. ORPH. This is a massive move. This is a massive move. This is from, $5 today all the way up to $77. No news. This is just crazy hype pushed this up. I mean, this thing got way off the 20-day and just continued to run, getting halted all the way up. This is a FOMO move. The fear of missing out. A lot of traders saw this continue to rip, and then everybody just flooded into it because they did not want to miss this rip, and the price just got pushed up like crazy. But with no news, it's very sketchy. Must be some social media hype or something. This just turned into a FOMO play. MEDS did have some good PR. They've got some type of app that's coming out for whatever, but it was good enough to get people excited. 20-day did the crossover right there in pre-market, and this thing just ran up the 20 all day long before it finally turned around and cracked it and just sold off. Now, even though this was a big move, the sell-off is because the 20 only crossed the 50 on the daily chart. 200 and the 100-day are still above the 20, so technically this is still kind of bearish. If it continues to rip up, then it could start to go bullish again. But only 2 weeks ago, this was down at 310 and just hit a low of the year. So maybe that's another reason why it bounced up. There was some buying coming in, some pressure for a bounce after this just hit the low of year. See, next we got GLTO. This is another crazy mover. It looks like started ripping right before market close. Big power hour move from $5 up to $16. So some big rips today, even though the market kind of went sideways. See, was there any news on this? No, there was no news. It was just halted 7 times. But same thing right there. Look, same thing. This just hit a low a year. Some buying come in, and it looks like FOMO took over this trade. This is a pretty low float stock as well. So if we continue to see this pattern of stocks that just hit a low that are very low float and start to get buying coming in, we may be able to catch these before they happen. Let's see if there's any more. So CYTR, this one did not have any PR. It was low. It didn't hit a low a year. The low a year was 39 cents. But this is definitely one that has been on the retail traders watch list. And it's almost bullish on the daily chart. You had a 20-day cross over the 200 and almost crossed the 50. So this could possibly run some more tomorrow, but that big pullback there, bringing it back down to 310, and you can see there's no volume in after hours. But this got rejected at $5, basically $4.50, and just got slammed back down. Looks like a lot of FOMO is going around in the market today. XLA looks like it was on some type of Traders Circulate Tip Ranks report. 2 strong buy penny stocks that could rally to $10. So an article or something or whatever some traders put out there, and that was enough to make this rip. As you see, it started getting a little buying volume yesterday. It was above the 20. Came back down a little bit there in pre-market, but right there, just randomly at 9:45, big spike. There wasn't any even volume there. So there's definitely some shenanigans going on in the market. Big groups of retail traders are definitely buying around the same time on some of these to get these stocks triggered, because these are low float stocks. If you have enough buying pressure from enough people to make a stock move like this from 344 to 389, the rest of the market is going to notice, and they will start trading it too. And that's what it looks like is happening on a lot of these. No volume yesterday on that either, and then all of a sudden buyers are coming in. So there's some type of manipulation going on. Next we got DIBS. This is just IPO today, and it came out with a nice bullish IPO. It looks like it opened at a pretty decent price there in this 2148 area, dropped to 2070, and then buyers just came in and it just rode up to 20 all day, getting some momentum along with the rest of the stocks. HTBX, they got a patent application based for GP96 based cancer therapy. As I've said before, PR that helps treating or curing cancer or any other illness, especially major ones that affect a lot of people. They can get a lot of buying volume in it. And you can see that's what happened here. And you could have caught this off of this 20-day crossover right there and read this all the way up if you wanted to, because it never got back down below the 20. Even in after hours, it hasn't gotten back below the 20. But same thing, no volume here all day, and then just boom, explosion right there. MDLY, I did take a trade on this morning. I had a few minutes where I could sit down, and I tried to get it here off of this bounce off the 200, and I was looking for it to come up and test the 50, but it didn't quite get up there and just turned around on me, so I got stopped out. $25 loss there. I was up a little bit of profit, but like I said, it didn't even break the 20, so I had to get out. MSLP, no PR, OTC stock, just had some random buying there. And then CCSB, same thing, nothing there. So the NYSC, we got ANY, a company that has turned into a crypto company. Griffin Digital Mining is now what they're calling themselves, I guess. But this guy is going to present at some type of conference, a DeFi conference. And cryptos did kind of rebound yesterday, so it got some hype. When this was getting hype all the way from yesterday in about midday, so buyers have been slowly coming into this, and then it just got a nice big explosion today. Currently riding around that 100-day moving average. If it could hold that up through after hours and everything, we could see it move tomorrow. So next we got YRD. This one has been all over social media today too. They had some good Q1 earnings, it looks like. Made a nice move up from 454 to 599 before it pulled back. But it had a full crossover on the daily. And that crossover actually started yesterday, early in the morning. GBS, no PR. Very low again. Look right there. Just hit a recent low. 244. Got a nice bounce today. Kind of in that power hour. Actually started around lunchtime, but crossover there on it as well. So very low float stock. All of these stocks in these Nasdaq gainer list are very low float, except for a few. So we may be getting into a hot low float market. It's kind of been going there, but it's still iffy. Yesterday the market slowed down a lot. Now it's back hot again today. So I'm expecting a sell-off tomorrow from institutions and all that. So we'll see what Friday brings. It's going to be a very interesting day tomorrow. But anyway, RH, this is a higher price stock. Restoration Hardware, so it's a consumer stock. They had some earnings, and then it was positive earnings. And this thing crossed over back here on the 5-minute in after hours yesterday and just rolled right up to 20 with this Q1 coming out. But it's higher price stock, very low float, but getting a nice gap up and move there. ERJ, they signed a contract for some type of conversion or something, but signing the contract is a good thing. That usually means that you're going to be getting some money. So that when that news came out, it just pushed it straight up in pre-market, and then it just kind of went sideways the rest of the day. Pretty much getting ignored, but probably because the rest of the market was moving. It's almost like the Reddit traders heard me when I have been saying they keep trying to push up garbage companies that have a bunch of institutions and hedge funds trying to hold them down, shorten them for a reason. If they just went to the low float stocks that were good companies that are underbought, and they started pushing those up, then they could get a lot bigger moves. So I'm definitely not going to take credit for it. It was just my thoughts, and I'm sure there are plenty of other traders and YouTubers out there way bigger than me who's probably said the same thing, because it's pretty obvious. I mean, the only reason why they probably haven't done it yet is because somebody warned them that it's kind of doing pump and dump manipulation, which is illegal and could catch some heat from the SEC. But if they can't find one group that's pushing it up, if it's multiple social media groups or whatever, then it's going to be really hard to prove who was the pumper and the dumpers. So not really anything I think they can do about it. But for us as traders who try to stay outside of social media and all of that, we may have to start trying to look for these trades before they happen. And that's why I'm looking at these signs of what's the repeating pattern. So AEI next, let's see. They had the CEO buy some shares into the company, and this company just hit a low here recently, 340. So it had good news and that recent low and getting bought up there. Nice move. CCX, this looks like a huge move, but it's really not that big of a move. They're $10.20 up to $11.61. It's not showing very much volume, though, that pushed this up. And there's no PR. There was PR yesterday. Something about this acquisition, so I'm not exactly sure, but it's not something I would have traded anyway. XIN, this is a REIT. So we've seen a few of these REITs, these real estate investment trusts, popping up lately. This one is an Asian one, so I wonder if they're in Asia being a REIT. And I'm going to do some more research on this one and find out, because that would be an interesting investment. Basically just had some good PR there. Big rip in the morning, and then not too much going on the rest of the day. And then we got SIG, big rip on this in the beginning. They've got Q1 earnings, and that's just probably ran as a jewelry company. Gold's going up, silver's been going up, so that makes sense. And then last but not least, we got PLM, nothing really there. Barcode chart, I don't trade those. Oh, and if you're wondering about my swing on AEMD, it's going as bad as that chart looks on AEMD. So I haven't got out of it quite yet, but I am very close. I'm down $100, and I do not like that. I forgot about it because of the whole pest thing this morning, like I did with the stream. So I did not catch it before it started dropping. So now I'm kind of bag holding. We'll be back tomorrow morning for sure for some live trading. We'll see what the market brings, see if we can catch some of these big rips that are coming out of these crazy stocks. Maybe start trying to find those stocks before they do. If you don't mind, smash that YouTube algo right in this tiny little like button. Teach them a lesson. Appreciate everybody joining me as always. Stay safe out there. Till next time.